क्या तुम्हारे साथ कभी ऐसा हुआ है दैट यू टेक्सटिंग अ गर्ल दैट यू आर एक्चुअली इंटरेस्टेड इन? तुम सोच रहे हो कि इसको क्या टेक्स्ट करूं, 10 मिनट हो गए, 20 मिनट हो गए, 30 मिनट्स हो गए, एंड देन यू फाइनली कम अप विद समथिंग, but it still doesn't seem that interesting. Then you again think about it and then you text her finally after coming up with something interesting. But once you send her that, there's no response. Or worse, one word. And that one word kills your confidence. क्योंकि तुम सोचते हो कि यार मुझे टेक्सटिंग पे फ्लर्ट करना तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं आता. Because you're always so logical with all the people that you're texting throughout the day, whether it's your work colleagues, your friends, कि लड़की से जब तुम बात कर रहे हो तो you don't know exactly how to flirt with her on text. And I know the pain because I've been that guy. I remember back in the day I was texting this one girl that I actually really liked. और Google और YouTube से मैं चीजें कॉपी करके उसको टेक्स्ट कर रहा था because I didn't want her attraction to die. And I didn't know how to maintain that attraction. इतनी तो बातें कर ली, अब कितनी बातें करेंगे on text? And all of that confused me and I ended up losing that girl. But today I'm going to show you exactly how I turned all of that around, not only for myself, but also for my clients. But wait, towards the end, I'm also going to give you a free gift. A free gift that took me years and years to actually build. It took me 3 years to build this. And after getting access to the gift that I'm talking about, you will never feel lost when it comes to flirting with a woman on text. Hi, my name is Arunav and I've been a dating coach for the past decade, helping men like yourself get into a fulfilling relationship that you deserve. So if you're single, consider clicking the subscribe button. If you've ever felt कि तुम्हारे text boring, needy और desperate sound करते हैं और they're just getting ignored, I want to tell you it's not your fault because no one teaches us on how to text a woman and how to engage a woman's emotional mind on text. Once you learn the psychology on how I text women, you'll feel like you have cheat codes. So by the end of this video, तुम्हें exactly पता होगा कि तुम्हारे text क्यों fail कर रहे हैं if they are failing. And I'm also going to break down 3 exact live text examples so that you can copy and paste the lines from those texts. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it.
So when I started learning about dating, जब मैंने dating बिल्कुल शुरू ही किया था, when I started going out approaching people, at that time my texting was extremely bad. Like I would copy things off the internet. मैं Google search करता था what to text a woman that you just met, and I would get like really bad cringe pickup lines. I don't want that to happen with you, and that's why I want to teach you the principles of texting. So before I show you the exact examples on how you can text women, I want to talk about my own story. Now when I was learning about dating skills, जब मैं बाहर जाके approach कर रहा था, this was back in the day when I was 17 years old in Singapore, I realized that my game cold approach can be good. Like I was getting numbers, but वो numbers convert नहीं होते थे dates, and that was the biggest hurdle. Now at that time, this was back in 2015, there were no videos like this, and that's why I want to create this video to help my 17-year-old self. Now no matter what's your age, if you've ever been ghosted, और कभी भी तुम्हें किसी लड़की ने one word replies दिए, कभी भी text ignore करे तुम्हारे, this is going to be the most important video because after watching this video, I'm 100% sure you don't need to watch another video on texting. And the best part, you don't need to copy lines off the internet. I will still be giving you some lines that you can copy and you can use. I will still be giving you a free gift that I mentioned towards the end, but I promise you that you will understand exactly how to have that conversation ताकि वो लड़की attracted रहे और conversation engaging रहे. So the first step that you need to take if you want to actually get the girl engaged is start the conversation. Now this can happen over an online dating app. Maybe you're texting her for the first time. Maybe you just got the girl's number from a bar, from a cafe, maybe a mall, and you're texting her for the first time. Now this is where 99% of the men go wrong. So the first step of initiating the conversation or texting the woman that you met through a cold approach, or maybe you met that girl on a dating app, it really does not matter. The concept we are going to use here is going to be the same. You have to frame an opening line. और ये line 99% लड़कों से different होनी चाहिए. Now you also need to understand what 99% of the guys do, and I've been guilty of making this mistake numerous times. As soon as you get the girl's number, you become too eager and you text her multiple times. Do not do that mistake. Text her once, wait for a response, and then text her again. Now a lot of guys do this mistake, and you need to understand that neediness is a killer of attraction. So the moment the girl feels that this guy is extremely needy or this guy is a little desperate or eager, attraction is going to go down the drain. Now when I'm framing the opening line, अगर मेरे को किसी लड़की का number मिलता है, I think about it from a perspective that this text should be different than 99% of the other guys texting her. ताकि उसका experience different. Now if you think about it, what do 99% of the men do it? They try to sell themselves on dating apps. They're trying to sell themselves when they meet a woman. They're too eager. They're texting her multiple times. Hey, it was great meeting you. Like they've never met anyone before. So they're trying to sell themselves. And this is where the buyer and seller dynamic comes into play. I want you to think about it. जब तुम एक लड़की को text करते हो, तुम text के बारे में बहुत ज़्यादा सोच रहे हो, या फिर you're texting her way too much, आपकी investment बहुत ज़्यादा है in terms of lines, that means that you're trying to sell yourself. You're trying to pitch or you're trying to impress. And that is the wrong thing. You should never do that because 99% of the men are making that mistake. And I was making that mistake as well initially. और उसकी वजह से I was not able to land dates. तो cold approach में अगर मेरे को 10 नंबर भी मिलते, I would just land one date. And online dating, If I would get 10 matches, it would be the same. Now, just by making this small shift, my online dating experience changed completely. Now, from having a seller behavior, I completely changed it to a buyer behavior. Let me explain. Now, when you go to buy a car, especially a luxury car, it can be a Ferrari, it can be a Porsche, they actually do a background check before they give you the car. It can be a Rolls-Royce as well. Now, these car brands have positioned themselves as buyers. But जब तुम कोई सस्ती गाड़ी खरीदने जाते हो, maybe a Mahindra, maybe a Tata, you are the buyer over there because you go over there with all attitude like, okay, maybe I don't like these kind of discounts. Maybe you could give me some extra accessories, and that's one thing I did when I was buying my MG. I went to the store and I was like, I'm not happy with this. I'm thinking between MG and Kia. और उस वजह से मैं Kia ज़्यादा prefer करूँ because I knew I wanted to buy the MG, but I also knew that I wanted them to give me free accessories. So I was just negotiating over there. Now over there I was the buyer, but when you actually go for a high-end brand, which is a Porsche or a Lamborghini, and these car owners, they actually do a background check, and these car brands have positioned themselves as buyer. Now in the buyer-seller dynamic, जहाँ पे 99% of the car brands are actually sellers and the clients are buyers, these are the top 1% brands which are actually positioning themselves as the buyer. Now you feel that luxurious experience. Same thing I want you to do in online dating. Now I understand that initially अगर तुम एक online dating app पे या तुम cold approach के through एक लड़की को मिलते हो, you might have to text her a little bit more and you might have to put a little bit more effort than the girl. पर आपका objective ये होना चाहिए that you want to raise her interest as soon as possible. And what I'm going to teach you is going to help you raise her it. Now the initial first text that you send to a woman, if you have met her in cold approach or if you have met her in online dating, I want you to think like that. This text has to be different than 99% of the other guys that are texting her. This text has to put me in the buyer perspective, and this text has to be a little cool and witty, not very logical. क्योंकि एक बार आप logical conversation लड़की के साथ शुरू कर दो like, hey, it was nice catching up. By the way, what do you do? What are you looking for? Then what happens is the conversation actually goes very slow and it dies down. So what you need to do is you need to amp her emotions. आपको उसके emotions spike करने पड़ेंगे when you're texting her, and that is what you do with the initial part of the conversation as well. I'd like to break down 3 texts for you ताकि तुम्हें exactly समझ आए how you can position yourself as a buyer, even in a place where 99% of the people are trying to sell themselves. Now, I matched with this girl on an online dating application. I text her, better cancel your plans this coming weekend, your future's here. Now, a girl who is between the age of 25 to 30, your future's here is very relatable. Also, it's a funny way and narcissistic way of putting my best foot across. So I texted this, and because this is a dating application में दोनों का intent is dating. It's not social media, it's not a girl that I met through cold approach, it's a dating application where I can just text the girl with high intent. मतलब मैं उसको दिखा सकता हूँ I'm there because I want to take her out of a date. तो उधर वो मैसेज करती है मेरे को that confident, and then I text her 99.9%, the rest 0.1 might take some time. Now this is again positioning myself as the buyer that I'm sure but not too sure. Now you need to keep your value intact. मतलब तो एकदम से eagerness नहीं दिखा सकते even if a girl is testing you or even if a girl is showing any eagerness, and this is where most guys mess up too. Now she texts me nice. I just text her, how's your Saturday evening look? Now there are questions I consider as bad questions. There are questions I consider as good questions. Now the bad questions are those which is a one-word reply. A bad question is like what's up? Bad question is a question that has an automatic response. अगर तुम एक लड़की से पूछते हो what's up? Nothing much. Just chilling. Now those kind of questions work really bad. That's why I text her, how's your Saturday evening looking? I could also just say what are your weekend plans? But this way, I'm framing the question a little bit differently, but it's going to get her to invest. So I framed the same question in a different way, expecting her to invest. Kabhi kabhar, it doesn't go as your expectations. So she texts me, boring, and that's all. Now a lot of guys, when they get like one-word responses, they're like, hey man, I'm getting one-word responses, the girl is not interested. But I just texted her, damn, I read this late, or else would have changed that. What's the usual schedule like? Again, objective of texting is just to set the date, especially on an online dating app. Agar tum good morning, good night, good evening kar rahe ho, that means you're getting stuck in the cycle. Now, a guy like me who comes, probably texts her 3 days and gets a number, that is the kind of communication you want to follow. You can either take the slow route or you can take the fast route. Now she texts me, college and back, usually free in the evenings. I was saying मेरे को पता लग रहा है that this girl has a high interest level because she's telling me that she's free in the evenings. Great, we should connect on a call sometime. So I know that I can go in for the number close because she has a high level of interest. Now a lot of girls will text you. Then she texts me, yep, cool. So she's agreeing to it, but she's still not giving me the number. A lot of girls, when you actually go in for the close, will test you. कि ये लड़का eager तो नहीं हो जाएगा ज़्यादा? Is he gonna text me too much? Is he gonna double text me? Or is he gonna be nonchalant? Is he gonna be how he's projecting to be? Is he going to be the same level of calm when he's texting me? So I just text her, what's your number? I'll text you on WhatsApp. So some girls do require a double post, and this is that kind of an attraction. Now let me show you another one. Now the text I'm going to show you next is going to blow your mind, but I also want you to understand one thing. Isme the profile is also working good. The profile is also the top 1% online dating profile, and it's very easy to make the top 1% online dating profile. I've made it for a lot of my clients. If you want similar results, click the pinned comment, schedule a call with my team, and we'll help you out. Now let's get to the texting. Now again, I use the same opener. Hey yaar, better cancel your plans this weekend, your future's here. Now when I was testing this opener, I was testing a few variations of this opener. That's why the last variation is going to be different than this variation. And she's like, ha 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 ha. It's a nice pickup line, by the way. I'm sorry AR, but I'm not available this weekend. Have a flight to catch on Wednesday. Will be back by 3rd. I'm like, that's sad. Where are you headed? Now this is an open-ended question which will make her invest. It's not a closed-ended question where you can have an automatic response to it, or a question where she will just lose interest. So she texts me, my hometown, I have a wedding to attend. I'll be here to you tomorrow. Let me know if you can meet up late night. Now just with the opener and one more text, the girl's level of interest is so high. Why? Because I'm positioning myself different than 99% of the other guys. Of course, the profile also has a part to play in this, but it's also the texting. Now I text her, we can surely do that. What's her name though? I don't even know her name, and the girl is on Chaseboard. And I'm like, late night on 3rd or tomorrow? Sorry, misread your text. What time today you be? Now the girl texts me her name and she's like, 3rd May, I'll be back. Yesterday works for me. Where do you put up? Now I just tell her I stay near this place. It's Arunav, by the way. How about you? She's like, where's that? I live in sector. And then she texts me a number. Call me or WhatsApp me whenever you get the time. And I'm like, sure, I'll text you. Now you could see a high level of interest because I'm separating myself from 99% of the other guys, and the profile is also putting in the work. Now I want to show you another text example where I match with this beautiful girl. I use the buyer frame and I text her, hey name, I'm here now, so your days of boring chats are officially over. I'm positioning myself as the buyer. I understand that you've been having boring chats and now it's over. Don't worry about it. Now the girl is like, well, I hope so, but मुझे chatting वैसे भी नहीं पसंद. So I text her, सही है, मुझे भी नहीं. I'm more of a calling person. By the way, it's enough. Now again, see how I'm positioning myself like a buyer. That even I don't like texting much. I like calling more, showing myself like a busy person, busy individual, which is congruent to the profile. Now she's like, oh, okay, Arunav ji. Now just with this, I know that her level of investment is all right, and she's of course respecting me in this because I'm using a buyer's frame. I'm like, how about we connect on a call? She's like, yes, sure. Now I want you to see how this girl is also testing me by not giving me the number. She messaged yes, sure, but she did not message me the number. So a lot of guys get extremely eager and they're like, oh, I just lost the girl. Now what do I do? Maybe I text her my number. Never do that. Do not lose patience. A lot of guys, what they do is they will text their own number, tell her to reach out, which is never going to happen. The probability of that happening on a dating app is very low. So इस वजह से be a gentleman and tell her again, cool, drop your number and I'll message you on WhatsApp. Then she drops the number. I know you might be thinking, ये तो 3-4 screenshots में close कर रहा है. Now I know you might be thinking, this guy is a pro. He's closing women in 3 to 4 screenshots while we're texting them 3 से 4 हफ्ते and we're not able to get a date. Now that is where you follow inefficient dating processes. I've taught this to all of my clients, and all of my clients are having a wonderful experience when it comes to online dating. Now this is the power of Flirt Framework and adding the top 1% online dating profile. People are literally having mind-blowing results. When I started online dating, my experience was not like that. My experience was getting 3 to 5 matches in a month, being able to set a date with a girl I'm not attracted. But now my clients are getting 200 to 300 matches on a dating app, and I get bombarded with texts like these. And the reality is, it's very easy. You don't even have to put in a lot of effort like you have to do cold approach. In cold approach, I believe there's a lot of effort that you have to put in because it's a skill-based thing. But online dating is something that you only have to fix once. So if you're a working professional or an entrepreneur or a person who generally has less time, or maybe you feel that you do old to approach in your city, I would strongly recommend creating your online dating profile because it's so easy now to create the top 1% online dating profile with all these AI features, with all these texting skills. But what I want you to do is I want you to understand the psychology on how I text people so that you can copy it and you can create your own likes. Now, as I promised you, I have a free gift for you. For all those of you who want to create that top 1% online dating profile, for all those of you who want to learn about texting, I have this ebook on online dating profiles and texting where I've accumulated years worth of knowledge. And all you need to do to get your hands on it is sign up with your full name, your email address, and your phone number. I'm going to send this book right across. Now, I want you to implement things from this book and let me know how you find that in the comment section below. Now, with this ebook itself, a lot of people who read this were able to increase their matches 5 to 10 times, and you can do that too. And if you need my help, you know what to do. Click the pinned comment, schedule a call with my team, and I'll be there to help you.